Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all keeping safe and well. I'm absolutely delighted to bring on Fabrizio Romano to talk about Tottenham Hotspur and, of course, the transfer window. Fabrizio, how are you?
Hello, my friend. All good. Thank you. And big up to all the Tottenham fans here.
Fabrizio, let's get straight into it. The latest on Alessandro Bastoni. There has been so many media reports out stating that this could be Tottenham's next signing. Any truth in this?
For sure, Tottenham are exploring this possibility. Alessandro Bastoni is a player that Antonio Conte loves. And let me say that if Alessandro Bastoni is 90% thanks to Antonio Conte. Let me remind that Antonio Conte is the man in his first press conference with Inter. He said, I don't trust Miranda, and he was the captain of Brazil, and I want this boy, Alessandro Bastoni, to be part of the team. And he was back from a loan deal. How much he trusts him. So for sure, he's a player that is in Tottenham list. He would be the perfect signing for Tottenham. But as of now, from what I'm told, Inter are still waiting to see if there will be an official proposal from Tottenham. So the two clubs, as of today, they are not in negotiation. Inter are still waiting to see what happens, what kind of proposal there will be for Bastoni. The expectation here around Inter for the fans, they hope, of course, that Alessandro will not leave, but it depends on the proposal. So I think his agent was pretty clear also a few days ago, and this is what Bastoni. They're waiting to understand how much Tottenham are open to spend on him. And so let's see. At the moment, we are not still at the advanced stages of the negotiation, but for sure, he's a player in the list.
Fabrizio, is it true, because there have been so many media reports out in the UK, that if we don't get Bastoni, we would be after Torino player Gleison Bremer? Is that true?
I think for Bremer is more than complicated. It's more than complicated. Fabio Paratici knows him so well, so for sure he's a player that they are following since long time. But for Bremer, what I'm told is that Inter, since January, have an agreement ready, a verbal agreement ready with the player. So Bremer wants to join Inter, even because they're playing with a back three, because he's happier in Italy. So between Bremer and Inter, everything is ready, but not yet between Inter and Torino. So my feeling is that in the coming days, Inter will try to complete this negotiation with Torino. Let's see the final price in this case too, but Inter leading the race for Gleison Bremer. And so let's see, because we know how in the transfer market it's important then to complete the negotiations. They have a verbal agreement with the player. Bremer wants to join Inter, but at the moment it's not completed yet. So in the coming days we will understand more, but as of today I see Inter leading the race for Gleison Bremer more than Tottenham.
Fabrizio, have Tottenham Hotspur put in an official bid for Middlesbrough right back Jed Spence?
At the moment, I'm still checking on this one, but what I'm told is that for sure Tottenham are on it. They want this player. They are exploring this possibility. They sent their scouts to watch him that many times this year together with Singo. Stefan Singo, Torino fullback, is another player that they are following since long time. So let's see if it will become an official negotiation. At the moment, I'm told that also Nottingham Forest are trying to keep the player and to have him in the Premier League for this big opportunity they will have. So at the moment, it's still not something close to be completed, but for sure, he's a player that Tottenham have in their list. For sure, Tottenham will sign a player in that position. Honestly, I won't be surprised if at the end, a player like Emerson Royal would be sold this summer. It will depend on the proposal. So I see Tottenham moving on that position, moving on a new right back, right winger. And so I'm sure that Tottenham are exploring his name, but he's not the only one. Remember, as I always told you last summer, so what happens that Fabio Paratici is always working on 3-4 targets in the same position. Sometimes even things moving on the media is because it's like a small screen for something that is moving behind the scenes. So for sure Spencer is a player they're exploring, but at the moment, before saying okay, it's close or it's done, we have to wait a bit.
Any truth on an official bid for Manchester City striker Gabriel Jesus?
At the moment, there is no bid to Manchester City, but there are contacts between the Jesus and Tottenham. Let me say that Arsenal are leading the race for him since long time because of the Brazilian connection with the director Edu Gaspar, who is working on it since long time. So Arsenal are really interested in Gabriel Jesus. For Tottenham, they are discussing with his agent. They had conversations with his agent. So for Gabriel, it's a possibility, but it's important for the player to understand what will be the plan, because Gabriel Jesus is leaving Manchester City this summer, but he wants to play. He wants to be a key player in the next club he will join. And so this is why at the moment for Gabriel it's important to understand what is the plan, for example, for Tottenham or for any other club who wants to sign him, because he wants to play, he wants to be a key player, and Manchester City had a good time, but now he thinks it's time to leave because he wants to be a key player for his next club.
Fabrizio, any truth in a link to Darwin Núñez?
For Tottenham, I think it will be more than difficult. They have Harry Kane, they trust Harry Kane, they deal in the coming weeks, in the coming months. I'm told that it's not something imminent. It's not a matter of days, but Tottenham will be on it. They want Harry with a new deal. Antonio Conte staying means for Harry Kane a signal of ambition from the board. And so I think they'll focus on strikers, will not be on a player like Darwin Núñez because of the price and because they want to trust Harry Kane as the real number 9. And Darwin also wants to join a club where he could be a key player. And I think to play together with Harry Kane is not the best solution for him.
Now, last night I saw a report linking Spurs to Yannick Carrasco. Any truth in that one?
He's always been a player at least of Fabio Paratici. Imagine that Carrasco at one point was close to join Juventus for a few years ago. He's a player that could be kind of perfect player for Antonio Conte. At the moment, I'm told that Atletico Madrid have not received any official proposal yet from Tottenham. So I'm not surprised, honestly, to see so many rumors because, as I told you before, for many players, many negotiations, it's his style, his strategy to discuss clubs, many different players, and then to move on the player he really wants on the real priority. So for Atletico Madrid, Carrasco is a really important player. In January, they received some approaches, some proposal, but the player wanted to stay and Atletico Madrid wanted to keep him. For Diego Simeone, is more than an important player. So I think it won't be an easy negotiation, but I'm not surprised to see his name for Tottenham in the leagues because Fabio Paratici has always been a big fan.
Fabrizio, I've got so many names to give you here. James Ward-Prowse, any update on that situation? Could Tottenham Hotspur sign him?
At the moment, I don't have any big update on him. I'm sure that West Ham are tracking him since a long time. So at the moment, I don't see Tottenham like desperate to move on him. I was checking a few days ago, and at the moment there are no negotiations. But of course, we are still at early days of the market. So let's see what happens. Also, with some links with Jorginho, we had 1 month ago, and I was told that it's absolutely not the case. They're not going for Jorginho.
Adama Traore, keep seeing that name keep being come out all the time.
Who is the name? Sorry, I missed it.
Traore.
Traore, of course, is the name because in January they wanted him. And so even in this case, I won't be surprised, but I'm sure there is not like something, how we can say, imminent. It could be an opportunity on the market because he's out of contract with Wolverhampton next year. He's coming back because Barcelona are not triggering the buy option for Adama Traore. So he's always been in the list. And I won't be surprised if at the end Tottenham would go for him. I'm sure there is a name that they have in the list, but at the moment it's not the real priority, even also because I'm told that Tottenham were not super happy with what happened in January when they were really close to sign him and then he really wanted to join Barcelona. So I think Adama has to show that he really wants to join Tottenham if he wants this opportunity again.
Appreciate it. Very quickly, John McGinn and Basuma. Any truth in those two?
At the moment, nothing close for both of them. I'm sure that Bissouma is a player that they're following because they sent their scouts this year to follow him. But at the moment, it's not something close. Also because of Bissouma, there are really many clubs. So at the moment, the midfielder is not something really close for Tottenham. I think now the real priority is to understand about the centre-back, as we mentioned, with Bastoni. Let's see what happens with Pau Torres. And also to understand with the strikers what's next.
Fabrizio, any chance that Antonio Conte and Harry Kane could sign new contracts before the season starts?
I think it's not easy for Antonio Conte. It will take some time for Antonio. I think he wants to see the real ambition on the market, the plans on the market, and then maybe discuss a new deal in the coming months. But at the moment, there are no negotiations for Antonio Conte's new deal with Tottenham. I think he will wait for the summer and then decide. For Harry Kane, I was asking 1 week ago before the Champions League final, and the answer I received is pretty clear. It's not something imminent. So I think also Harry Kane wants to wait. I see Kane and Conte are really the same page, on the same position. They want to see the real ambition for Tottenham on the market this summer, to see how will be the project this summer. So I think it will take some time before we see Harry to sign a new deal, but Tottenham are desperate to have Harry Kane with a new contract. So I'm sure that they have good chances, and for Conte, it will take some time. At the moment, it's not even a negotiation.
Now, you stated in the last couple of days that Ajax have put in an official bid for Steven Bergwijn. There are other clubs interested. Any Premier League ones? Who are the other clubs interested in him?
Yes, from Premier League, but not just for Premier League. For example, his agents had a meeting with AC Milan few months ago in Milano. So let's see if AC Milan will decide to jump into it or not. At the moment, they are on different targets, but Bergwijn is really a player with many results. From what I'm told, Tottenham want 30 million euros fee to sell Bergwijn. Be an easy one for many clubs, but at the moment Ajax are in the race because they had an agreement with the player in January, and so the real priority for Bergwijn has always been to go back to Dutch League, to Eredivisie, and to join Ajax.
Great. So final question, could you just give an update on Ndombele, Lo Celso and Brian Hill?
Yes, at the moment for Bryan Gil, there are some possibilities in La Liga, but Tottenham will take their time before deciding which one is the best club for him to go. So nothing has been decided yet with Antonio Conte too. For Ndombele, I see him leaving. Let's see which will be the club. It will take some time, but I see him leaving the club. For Lo Celso, negotiations ongoing with Villarreal, but still no agreement between clubs on the fee, because Tottenham want more than 20 million euros for Joe Lo Celso, and Villarreal are offering less than this. So they are discussing, but it's not completed yet. But I think there are good chances because Unai Emery is desperate to have him back at Villarreal.
Just quickly, Fabrizio, Harry Winks, apparently he's been given the green light to leave the club. Any clubs interested in him this summer?
Man will have a good chance to move to Premier League clubs, but he will take his time, I'm told. It's not something that will happen in the next few days. It will take some time because there are many possibilities, and so I think it will be one of the players to leave the club this summer, yes.
Fabrizio, thanks so much for the update, and hopefully I'll see you in a couple of weeks' time for another update on the Tottenham Hotspur transfer front. Thank you very much. Come on, you Spurs.
Thank you as always. Thank you as always, and thank you all the Tottenham fans. Ciao. Thank you.
Thanks for watching, everyone. Come on, you Spurs.